Welcome back to opening weekend of the LCS Split, where not only do the wins on the Rift matter, but so do the ones on the desk as we jump into another edition of Jeopardy! I hope the three of you are ready today, because these aren't the easiest questions in the world. We're also going to have some bonus points if you guys can give me some more specifics as well. We got 3 questions for you. First one's coming at you hot. What teams played in the first ever LCS match? Bonus points if you can tell me who won.
First ever. It's got to be like TSM.
I'm going to guess
right?
TSM CLG, because that was like the major rivalry back then.
Yeah, TSM wasn't in the first.
C9 wasn't in the league yet.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, and exactly. But remember LCS, right?
That'd be too easy, right? If you guys are gonna guess CLG, he said this.
This
was a
isn't
hard
some
question.
trickery where we're saying LCS,
Yeah.
not NA LCS, is it? This isn't some technicality.
Oh, no. Wait,
none
is
of that
it?
kind of
Yeah.
trickery. No. We are here in North America.
Okay.
We are here in
All
North
right.
America for the LCS. So the first North American LCS match. We've got Emily on CLG TSM. Mark, you agree? CLG TSM?
Yeah, I'm on the same board.
And high?
bonus point, I'll say CLG won.
I'm gonna choose
Mark thinks CLG won.
Dignitas and Coast.
Dignitas Coast. Well, that would be a banger to kick it off with. Okay, Emily, and who do you think won the CLG TSM matchup?
At that time, so this is the Reggie roster.
Reggie and Hotshot still.
Yeah, woof. CLG, I think?
Okay, and hi, you said Dignitas Coast, right? Who won?
Coast.
Okay. Mark and Emily are correct. It was CLG versus TSM.
Not too hard.
CLG winning the game.
I'm retiring on top.
There it is.
Done. I'll see you guys later.
Here's a really fun fact, though, about that very first game. I loved this when I read this. Hotshot did not set runes for that game.
Oh, I remember that game.
I remember
it was like
that.
no fight, right?
Yeah, he played the first game of the LCS, did not set runes, and beat TSM while doing that. Next question. Which player had the most solo kills in the LCS lock-in tournament?
I think I know the answer.
Yeah.
I think Mark knows the answer as well. I will also be curious if you guys can give me the number of solo kills that this person had.
I thought it was Alfari. And
Okay.
I could be wrong, and I thought
How
it was
many-
I thought it was something insane, like 7 or 8 or 6, 4, something.
Okay, those are that's a wide range of numbers there, Mark. I'm going to have to have you narrow it down.
We'll go with
Maybe
we'll go big. We'll go 8. I don't know.
Okay. Mark says Alfari 8. Hi, what are you thinking?
Does solo kills not count bot lane then?
Yeah, I was
I don't
wondering
think
that.
2v2
What happens to
Sure.
bot
Yeah,
lane?
no,
bot lane
2v2 would not
2v2s?
count. A 2v2 kill would not
Was it a
count.
mid laner or a top laner? That's
All right,
good.
okay, he's
I
taking
feel
long.
like
Emily, what you
I feel like Jizuke had a lot of, maybe he was just First Bloods. Because I was gonna go Alfari, but then I was like, I want to go something different. Because I can't just match Mark.
It's right. You can.
Y'all were in luck.
You can ride my coattails all the way.
Maybe it's just because I keep seeing the Insanity play in my head. I feel like Jizuke got more solo kills. I'll go with that. Whatever.
Okay.
I never paid attention.
Someday at 3. I don't know, man.
All right.
Bad at
The answer is Alfari. The correct number of solo kills, Mark, you were close. He made it all the way up to 9.
He got
over the
one more?
course of the lock-in tournament. So you were right in that it was an absurd number. Watching you count backwards was... Okay, can you guess this? Who was the next highest in solo kills throughout the lock-in tournament?
I think it was like 4, because I remember him being like double, which is why... But I don't remember who it was.
Who do you think it was, though?
No idea.
Because also keep into account like games played and stuff, right? I mean, obviously Team Liquid being winners played, more games than most. Other than Pod 9.
I gotta say, did Mark see some kind of sheet where it showed the amount of...
Yeah, is he?
No,
how do you
is
know
he
this?
creeping on the answers?
He was popping off about Alfari solo kills during the tournament. So I remember he was like tracking the stat to some degree.
And-
So I kind of
and-
expected
Okay.
Mark to get that.
Azale's typing it in the Discord chat. He's like, you can tell who was paying attention in story meeting because we talked about this. Everyone, if you were paying attention,
Oh.
everyone knows this answer.
I wasn't there at the time.
I love the behind the scenes Discord flame from Azale. This is phenomenal. Okay, so the
Wow, Azale.
person with the second most, just as a fun fact, was actually Someday. And he did have 4 solo kills. So Alfari more than doubled, but it was interesting to me that it was one of the teams that got knocked out in the semifinals, still had a player with the second most solo kills. Also, both of those players, top laners. All right, third and final question. during the LCS lock-in tournament, which role had the highest average damage per minute?
It's got to be 80 carry easy, right?
Yeah.
Right? Am I crazy?
I mean, I don't tell you until all three of you guess.
I'm guessing top lane.
So High thinks top lane. Mark, you said 80 carry. And Emily?
I actually think it also might be top. Now that I think about it,
I'm
'cause I feel like the
zero
the DPN numbers coming out of top laners were really high.
It can also get inflated when like there's a tank versus a carry, and the carry's just slapping the tank all game. Like Gnar into a matchup has like 1,000 damage per minute from all just laning phase hitting like a Scion or whatever, you know.
All right, so but Mark, but are you still locked in on ADC?
No, I'm still going ADC.
Okay, so we got top, ADC top. The top laners are correct.
Nice.
This is the first time that top lane has ever been the highest damage per minute over the course of an LCS period. The average damage per minute was 445 damage per minute. Top lane has only ever been third in damage per minute in the LCS all time. So the fact that it jumped all the way up to first, I found quite interesting and surprising. Never first or second until the lock-in tournament. However, after yesterday's games, top is back down to third at 419 damage per minute. So as quick as they give it to us, they take it away. I don't know what that means or if that's indicative of, you know, either the length of the games, which is something we talked about, or just the way that the meta is developing and the picks are flowing. That's going to do it for Jeopardy today, though. So turning our attention to the first game of the day, it's more than just two squads trying to prove themselves at the start of the split. It's more than a rivalry. It's something deeply woven into their DNAs. It's another clash of good versus evil. And Mark, I think it's only fair that we start where the meme itself did, in the jungle with our boy Sven Skaren.
Yeah, the progenitor of the live evil meme, just typing that and responding it to everything. You know, he had a really good day yesterday, actually. He, on the Udyr pick, was able to go and find a number of pretty easy kills, I guess you could say, about people not really respecting where he could be, you know, kind of a couple face checks. But he did a really good job of trying to snowball that and kind of getting EG some more advantages. So overall, really good game out of Sven Skaren yesterday. And Jose Diodo, on the flip side for FlyQuest, also had a really good game on the Hecarim. It was a little bit slower pace, and it was more about team fighting and stuff for him, but he found a number of really good engages and opportunities to pick up kills.
Wow.
Along with that, just the excitement of, I think, the player pickup and the energy, I think, that comes along with a player like Jose Diodo on FlyQuest. Going to be very interesting to see if they can bring the fight to the side of evil today. Emily, we wanted variety. We wanted variety coming into the split. FlyQuest, one of the teams most willing to give it to us. Enchanter in the bot lane yesterday.
Yeah, so FlyQuest was the first team to trot out Seraphine in the lock-in tournament, and we saw them playing it again here. Obviously, Diamond had played it. Johnson also played it in lock-in and played it again in this match. Seraphine, in my opinion, is broken. That's why we've seen her in almost every position. I know LCK has been throwing her mid now, which is very entertaining. So yeah, I mean, I think this was a good call from FlyQuest. I'm kind of surprised it got through against them, only because they were one of the teams that we saw playing it a lot in lock-in. But yeah, Seraphine is broken, guys. Higher priority on her, definitely.
I agree. Because my experience recently, okay, not to brag, but, you know, I did win a very difficult Twitch Rivals tournament recently, and I pretty much played Seraphine Ziggs every game. If the enemy picks Seraphine, pick Ziggs. I promise you, it does well. It's a great lane. It scales better. It's fun. And if Seraphine's up, pick her as well. But, yeah.
All right, so you can blame High for the loss if you pick Ziggs into Seraphine and you take the L.
Well, you have to be good at Ziggs, right?
Oh, you have to. Okay,
Oh, just slide that in there like you also have to be good.
Hey, how many good, carries do you know that plays this well?
What about Teemo? How does Teemo do into it? No. From the bot lane to the top lane, though, let's talk about our featured matchup high. We've got Licorice versus Impact, two heavy hitters.
Right. Something I want to see this year from Impact is I want to see him playing more carry top laners. I took a look at his past 50 games. Out of those 50 games, 46 of them are on like tanky bruiser / tanks, and only 4 are on like squishy hard carries. he is a phenomenal tank player, and I'd love to see him do more carries just so that he has more playstyles to work with. Whereas with Licorice, we've seen him play Camille, we've seen him play Fiora, we've seen him play tanks, and he's good at all those. Maybe he's not as good at tanks as Impact is. However, you know, he has multiple playstyles, and I really like that from top laners, where they have the ability to do different playstyles. Because when you come to the world stage, right, you can't just pick a top laner like a tanky top every single game. You want to be able to have the option to counterpick your guy, whether it be a Quinn, the Vayne, whatever it may be. Having that counterpick playstyle where you can be a hard carry adds a lot of that diversity to your team. So I'd love to see Impact explore that role more this year. And I know he has the mechanics to do that. Hopefully his team allows him to this year.
To chime in there, we mentioned Camille in specific. I mean, that was what Licorice played yesterday, and afterwards was tweeting about how broken and unfair he thinks Camille is. Everyone was kind of dogpiling on about, like, you know, just outplayed, you know, the immobile carries in team fights by jumping on them. And so, you know, that's something that Impact has played 4 times in North America in his career, and the last time was in 2018. And she has been a meta champion for so long now. There's so many comps that build around her, like the Galio Camille comps and all these different things. So, like, I definitely would love to see that as a champion, specifically right now in this meta, that Impact's willing to reach back into the past 4.
Now, those two teams will hit the Rift in just a moment. But for those of you who are new to the LCS, being a 2-time finalist and currently undefeated aren't the only qualifications that make FlyQuest good. They've also run campaigns to save the Earth, with in-game performance last year tied to planting trees and saving reefs. TreeQuest planted 10,000 trees in the spring. SeaQuest became champions of the reef in summer. And in 2021, it's the only nature-related word that still fits the rhyme. It's BeeQuest. Time to save the bees, ladies and gentlemen. For every kill Ocean Drake and FlyQuest win, FlyQuest will be donating to the Bee Conservancy. And to date, have already raised over $1,000. We got to save the bees! We must.
These are cool.
I like honey.
I don't know about cool. Cool might be...
Bees are very cool.
I don't know if I've ever referred to a bee as cool, but important and necessary for natural life. That I can get on board.
There's a difference between like a bee and a murder hornet. I'm not a fan of the latter.
Maybe I just can't distinguish.
James is annoying bees and then getting mad when they come back at him.
Picking fights with bees. All right, the real question is, did all that do-goodery from FlyQuest earn your prediction? Let's throw them up, all 3 of my analysts, and see what you got. What? Nope. Okay.
Wait, we all matched. This is so boring.
Hold up. Did you
oh my God.
Nothing? Did all of you learn nothing from yesterday?
I learned a lot. That's why these are my predictions.
No!
Wow.
What? How? Based on yesterday, how does this become the predictions? How are you all aligned?
Look, we all picked
don't
Immortals.
know.
They were really impressive yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, we are analysts, Dash. We're professional
okay,
analysts.
you know what? Today is the day I officially enter the prediction game. All right? And I'm taking the opposite of every single one of your predictions except for Team Liquid, because Team Liquid's going to come back with a vengeance today and take a victory.
Did you learn
Every
nothing from yesterday, James?
I know.
I learned so much. I learned so much, and what I know is that you know nothing. Okay, but seriously, why are you all so aligned when yesterday went in a way that none of us really assumed it would?
I'll talk about why I went with EG, because I think EG FlyQuest is probably the close, or it was a close game for me to call, because FlyQuest looked a lot better. But I also think that EG was in a game that definitely dragged out. Yes, they made some mid to late game mistakes, but I still see them as a more cohesive unit right now than FlyQuest, despite the win-loss record.
I think FlyQuest outdrafted TSM yesterday pretty hard, actually. They got the Seraphine. I don't think that's going to go through this time. And if Johnson's on a more normal 80 carry and the rest of the team is like more standard, they should lose the game. But, you know, what do I know?
Confidence if I've ever heard it. Hi, thank you very
what
much.
do I know?
Enough out of us. It's time to head over to the Casters, Pastry, and Azale as we get into game 1.
Thank you very much, Dash. My name is Pastry Time. Joining me is Azale as we kick off day 2 of the first ever week of the LCS proper. It was a great lock-in tournament. Already, day 1 has brought many surprises, Azale, so perhaps we'll have another one here, even though the analysts can't seem to agree, except on the fact that EG is going to win up against FlyQuest.
It's hard to call those upsets sometimes, you know? If there's one day of upsets, you predict all the upsets the next day. I don't know if it's the best strategy, but this should be a pretty exciting game. I'm really interested to see if Seraphine priority is going to go up, I'm actually very in agreement with Emily and the rest of the desk talking about how powerful this pick is. I do think it's a legitimate 3-way flex in pro. I think you can play it as a farmer in the bot lane. You can support in the bot lane. You can go mid. Haven't seen it in jungle. Probably don't want to see that. But at least 3 roles that it's really, really powerful in. And it's not just like an okay pick here. We're talking like the highest win rate in solo queue across multiple roles, right? And I do think that it papers over some issues that bot lanes do have at times because it's a lot easier to play than some of these other picks. I think it's it's less risky. You don't have to play as aggressive as some of these hard commit engage comps that we're seeing when people are playing things like Leona and Alistar to really be effective. You have to go in. Seraphine doesn't really have to do that. You can poke, you can prod, you can play it more slowly. So it will be interesting to see if FlyQuest do get it, if EG leave it up.
All right, well, Renekton and Olaf for the first few bans as we kick off Champ Select. So,
Shocker.
So far, no Seraphine. Yeah, other than that, though, certainly in line with what we've seen. Xayah actually kind of a curveball there for FlyQuest, going to be their second ban.
That almost feels like you want to play something divey, right? You're trying to eliminate what is a marksman that is meta, strong in the meta right now, and also can absorb and deal with some of this dive, right? So they could be looking to something. I'd immediately be thinking, all right, are you going to play something like Camille? Or are you going to be playing something, like Gragas or whatever, like a lot of dive that wants to go in? The Seraphine will get banned out by EG, so that answers that question. And now Johnson and Diamond are going to have to see if they can actually match up here against Deathly and Ignar, because Johnson and Diamond did have more of a rough lock-in tournament, but when they have gotten their hands on Seraphine and these kind of more atypical bot lanes, they have looked good.
They've certainly been willing to mix it up. Like Diamond's played Janna of all champions, which is not something that has been super popular, even though enchanters have been popping up here and there. Udyr and Pantheon going to round out the bans, with Pantheon continuing almost his 100% ban rate. He did actually get through yesterday in the INT victory, but Udyr is just starting to get banned. And I think even though Jose Diego can play the champion, maybe just wants something either a bit more team fighty like Hecarim, or something a bit more aggressive like Talia, who is maybe a bit more focused on getting into the lanes and pairing up with another champion rather than just power farming.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Talia is just so strong right now. I tend to think that it's, situationally the best jungler in the game. I do think if you can get the pairings to have the setup for the seismic shove, the damage is absolutely incredible. There's a number of pairings. I've been actually looking at this kind of data a lot this year. And when you're looking at champion synergies, champions that win a lot when paired together in pro, you're going to find a ton of Talia. Pretty much Talia plus NECC just wins. Talia Leona, 34 games in pro, 76% win rate.
Jeez.
Talia and Renekton, is up above 70% win rate. Talia and Xayah up above 80% win rate. Just anyone who can basically set up for this champion works incredibly well with her because the seismic shove damage is so high. So I'm already looking over at Diamond and thinking, all right, well, are you going to be going back to Leona? That I like as an answer here from EG. If you're expecting that type of a pairing, dive with the Leona plus the Talia. Well, Rel works so damn well into engage. You can step beyond the Leona, stun up with your E on both the Leona and the AD if they look to go for the engage. Kai'Sa obviously incredibly high priority right now. Does have really good scaling, a lot of different options that you can go for as well as far as the builds, and it's looking like dive.
Yep, there's Camille, and maybe Alistar as well to go in. Yep, there's Alistar locked in, so FlyQuest kind of, showing off what their comp wants to do already with 3 picks. Like you said, they want to dive. They're just going to go straight in onto this Kai'Sa, I guess, now, especially with that Xayah ban, which is kind of a cool setup here in the first phase of this draft for FlyQuest.
It is really cool, and I just wonder if EG has anything to kind of try to answer that dive, because I felt like as soon as you banned out the Xayah, that was kind of broadcasting a bit what they wanted to do over on the FlyQuest side. So this is where, if you have it ready, I would love to see things like even the Swain or these types of dive or anti-dive champions that can be really effective in these situations. I think that we're going to see Galio get banned out pretty much for sure with the Camille being picked up. But FlyQuest already have a lot of go buttons, and it's going to be interesting to see if they want to pair it up with an aggressive marksman or if they're going to look more for scaling down there. But I do think that at the very least, we're going to see some of these globals being banned out here in the second round from EG. I would think unless you're going to grab TF for yourself, banning out the Galio makes sense. Maybe take the TF. MF is a good pairing also with Camille because MF is one of those marksmen that has backline access. And with the ultimatum coming down from Camille, you obviously cannot get out of that MF ult. So I like that as ban from EG here as well.
Yep, also Gragas kind of on the other side, good at breaking up potential dives by throwing people out with the casks, so going to keep Gragas out of the game in this particular instance. I think Seraphine certainly does sit on top, but for me, Rel and Senna have been the other 2 champions where when they get rolling in a game, it just feels like they're very challenging the stop. I do think they have more weaknesses than maybe Seraphine does, which I think is one of the reasons why you can afford to let Rel through here for Ignar and then be okay. But Orianna banned away from Palafox is kind of interesting. Again, a champion he loves to play. They paired a lot with the likes of Camille and other dives, so he's going to have to play something a bit different. We have seen his Akali, which could maybe fit in there. He's certainly got a wide range of champions he can pick from, but maybe not going to be that comfortable on whatever he ends up on after these bans.
Yeah, well, Syndra still has a lot of plays on that as well. You know, his most played in his career are the Akali and the Orianna. Syndra just behind those. I'm definitely surprised to see that the Galio is actually being left up. Maybe EG want to go for it themselves, but I'm not sure that that is going to be the case. So they do have Hecarim to set that up. Gnar would make sense here for Impact. It's pretty much his go-to, it feels like. Renekton just gets permabanned after those early games that he was dominating on it. But Shen also pairs incredibly well with the Hecarim and also has a really good early matchup against the Camille. You know, there does come a point in time where Camille just kind of outscales you and kind of out-heal your damage. But that's actually really late into the game. And I do think Shen is going to help to set up both the dive into the back line onto squishy champions like the Talia and potentially whatever marksman they did go for, and is really going to be able to match up well in the 1v1 against Licorice.
Yeah, it gives them an extra global as well, which they might need because you probably expected something like Galio or Twisted Fate on the FlyQuest side. So that is going to be TF picked up for Palafox. Kind of, again, something to help out the Talia. Really easy setup for her. Can easily roam to the sidelines where Alistar or Camille are potentially waiting. So FlyQuest have, a teamfight plan. Dive onto the carry and kill them, and then they also have kind of an early mid-game plan as well. And speak of the devil, there's Senna. Going to be the lock-in as insta-lock LeBlanc for Evil Geniuses.
Okay, yeah, the Senna makes a lot of sense with what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to dive full in. MF has already banned out. Senna is another champion that does have backline access with the ultimate. A lot of support added with that big shield that is going to come across onto the divers as well. That is going to be very, very effective. But Jizuke, given that 5th pick, he will go with the Snap LeBlanc choice to try to keep Palafox locked down. So maybe that was their decision tree here all along. If you are expecting that it's going to be one of these roaming mid laners and you feel that you have a counter pick prepared, some people like things like even Lucian into the Galio, that can be pretty effective, and going with LeBlanc here into the TF to answer, because they will need to keep this TF locked down, despite the fact that I think Shen is a good matchup against the Camille in the 1v1. If you have TF ulting up there, Talia coming up on the ultimate, and the Camille setting that up, of course, no one really fares well in that 1v3, despite the fact that your parry zone can actually help you against that TF as well, blocking the gold card. We'll have to see how Impact can survive.
I mean, to kind of bring it all the way back to your point at the top of this champ select, it's like, don't just look at, the individual champions, look at the synergies. And one of the reasons you said that Talia is so good is that she's just excellent at pairing with just about any other champion with CC. Now, I don't have the numbers like you did for all the possible combinations, but I have to imagine that when you draft Talia and 3 lanes with CC in them, that's pretty good for your Talia.
Yeah, definitely pretty good. Especially, you're talking about gold card. Having that pairing is actually really strong. So it is going to be pretty interesting to see how this does work out for them. They have a lot of global pressure. They have the ability to take over potentially through the side lane there with the Camille. But I also really like the answers from FlyQuest. I actually do prefer their draft. I think overall, I think that you have winning top lane early. I think that you have winning mid lane. Their bot lane is looking pretty strong and should have the push because Senna is just a slower shoving champion. You have the Rel as an answer into the engage support. So it really does feel like you ended up with 3 winning lanes right now for FlyQuest, and EG is going to have to depend more on their global play, their coordination across the map to try to make things happen. But that can be difficult if all of your lanes are getting pushed in or all your lanes are at a deficit in the early game. Well, it gets tougher for Jose Dioto to move around the map and really try to get done what he wants to get done.
All right, well, a little bit of fun facts from Tom over at Stats. Thank you very much for these interesting tidbits. This is Impact's 41st Shen game. It's his most played now of his LCS career. So when we think about, hey, Impact's pretty good on Shen, you're not wrong. He's played it a lot. He's 27-13 all time. Licorice is his 7th Camille game. He's 6-0. That's pretty good, especially given his game yesterday on the
Those
champion.
are pretty good. Yeah, 27-13. A lot of Shen games are a lot of years, and undefeated on the Camille for Licorice, also pretty good.
All right, well, we'll see kind of how this works out. Kind of as you were saying, I think based on the trajectory from the games we saw from EG and Fly, even though EG did lose and Fly did win, EG looked good early, and Fly definitely kind of took their time getting things together before like coordinating to kind of win through the mid to late game up against TSM. So FlyQuest definitely, and I think they've cited themselves, struggling with a bit of early coordination as they try and get a very new roster of players together and all on the same page. EG certainly looking very cohesive, which is one of the big surprises of the lock-in tournament, but they couldn't quite figure out a way to punch through 100 Thieves yesterday in the mid-game, despite getting ahead early. So I think we are going to see some of that push and pull in these first 15 minutes like you were mentioning, but all things are going to start in the jungle, and that's Fenskaren on the blue buff as Impact is dabbing on Licorice already. As a reminder, though, for those just joining, FlyQuest has also started a Spanish-only co-stream, which I believe will go through the entirety of the LCS, which is awesome. So twitch.tv/FlyQuest if you want to catch that.
Yeah, you can see something Impact did here that's actually really nice that you always want to do on Shen is set up your Keyblade, that Q, deep into the lane. He had that behind Licorice so that when Licorice moves up to those minions, he can actually get the guaranteed pull-through for the bonus damage and that attack speed coming out, which is going to give you really nice trades. And generally speaking, Shen should win all of these trades early game as long as you are not attacking into the Camille passive, which when Licorice proc that, we simply saw Impact step back, wait till that expired, and now hitting too quick, he's going to go in.
Yeah, passive going off, but not enough shield there for Licorice. Impact actually might just get the kill straight up here. Licorice probably going to have to flash 2 more orders, it looks like. But Impact not in range. Oh, flash Q is in! That's first blood for Impact!
Oh, let's go. Impact getting aggressive here early on. Had nice early trading to actually soften him up. And despite the fact that Licorice hit the sweet spot there, the early 2 goes straight in. Licorice has the passive, but Impact had the pull through on the Keyblade. And Licorice going Q second, he didn't actually go for the E. So thinking he could win, and then just underestimating the damage. It looked like the Grasp proc came up there for Impact, so that plus the Q bonus damage gave him the confidence to flash in for that auto, and Licorice gets taken down for an early first blood, which is going to make this matchup very, very difficult. Impact already has the advantage in this 1v1, and when you get behind, you just can kind of start getting outstatted.
All right, what about the 2v2 advantage? Because Svenskaren and Jose Diodo are both up here, but Svenskaren's going to reveal first. They are going to see the horse now, but that's a great taunt for Impact. See you later, Licorice. Good flash, and he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's going to be okay, but not in a good spot. He has no potions now. He already got solo killed. He has no TP. One taunt, and you could potentially die here, or at the very least be put back to base. And if the wave is in an awkward spot when that happens, it's going to be so bad for Licorice. Like, his jungler needs to be here yesterday.
Hook shot, there's the stun. Jose Diodo maybe going to turn it back around. Impact wants to get the trade at least, but is not going to get it. Great seismic shove set up there for Jose Diodo as Licorice gives his jungler the thumbs up.
Yeah, that was huge. If Jose Diodo wasn't there, Licorice's game is pretty over because there's no way you can actually reset that wave and it can just be hard frozen. But Impact got a bit greedy. I mean, he saw the solo kill in his eyes, but Licorice was hanging around at such low HP, and Impact did not take into consideration that the jungler could actually be here. With the wave pushing towards you, Impact doesn't actually need to commit to anything. You don't need to commit your taunt. But when he goes for it, he gets Licorice incredibly low, but Licorice was able to land the hook shot to actually deny that auto coming through. With that, he slowed up, does land the seismic shove, and is going to be able to stay alive in this matchup. So an overextension there from Impact, but understandable given the situation, knowing, hey, if I actually don't have the jungler here, the enemy jungler, I'm just going to kill you again for sure.
Yeah. Also, just good presence of mind there. That ward just to the left of Palafox, you can see did spot Svenskaren, who was visiting mid, because that, of course, would have been tragedy in the other direction for FlyQuest if Svenskaren had still been in the area for any particular reason. So Licorice does figure it out. They even up the CS. He's got a Sheen now up against the Doran Shield and the 2 Ruby Crystals there for Impact. And with all the summoner spells gone, we are going to have things perhaps flatten out a little there in the top lane. But given how much they've been fighting, perhaps won't wait too long to do the same here, as Licorice is going to get a ward down for a little bit of extra safety, but Impact already stacking this wave back up, trying to zone Licorice off of this farm.
Yeah, I think pretty much any time you know where the jungler is, you're happy to scrap as the Shen. If you're not behind in the early game, you want to fight. Really, the only thing you have to be worried about is the true damage Q. Everyone kind of memes about that, but what most Shen players will do is they'll actually hold their parry zone until that is active and try to negate that true damage with that parry zone. So it is something that you can definitely play around. You always have to be careful about when you're looking to attack a Camille and they're close to a wall, because it's very tough to react to the quick shot, or rather the hook shot, as we did just see there. But Impact in a good spot. Jose Diodo is coming up here, potentially for a wraparound, and this would be a bit of an anti-timing if Sven doesn't see him, but he does actually see him.
Oh, Svenskeren also going to get the jump first. The seismic shove is going to miss, but here's Diamond actually up on the roam. Now Svenskeren slowed up, does not have flash, only Ghost, which he used earlier. But Diamond not going to be in range to find the combo, so everyone's going to be A-OK here in the top side of the map. But Diamond being very active all of a sudden. I mean, you do want to see it on champions like Alistar, but he often hasn't left his lane that commonly, I feel like. So nice to see him being active, trying to help Licorice out even more.
Yeah, FlyQuest is putting a lot of effort into actually protecting Licorice, right? So Impact had a pushing wave there. They roam up their support. They have their jungler up there. They're trying to make it so that Impact can actually farm. You know, the wave is in an awkward spot for him where it would be dangerous for him to push in. But Ignar does match the roam eventually. It is a bit delayed, but now that should give Impact the comfort to actually be able to hopefully reset that wave for himself. But FlyQuest very much aware that the Camille has to be successful in this style of composition. You absolutely have to be having Licorice at a point where he can be diving into the backline, threatening this Kai'Sa, looking to get side lane advantage, because if you don't have that, you really don't have much going on for you in this game. Because you can't expect the TF to really be, winning the 1v1 against the LeBlanc. You need that advantage from Licorice here so that Palafox has a lane to play towards to try to snowball through and split push through. So a lot of effort being put into getting Licorice in a good spot.
Oh, missed hook shot there. Grass proc there for Impact is going to make him win the trade, but it doesn't last too long, so not a particularly large problem on either side. I will say in general, it has been like a pretty marked shift for FlyQuest, at least early on, as they kind of find their footing and identity as a team, to just, be like, all right, Licorice, get on carries. That's our first plan here. I think Jose Dioda's done a good job of also picking up the carry role where he needs to as TF is coming top lane. Licorice going to lock him up, and there's the gold card flying in. Stuns the landing. Center ulti's out. An Impact under the tower as Palafox has got no mana. Unfortunately, not going to be able to finish off the Shen, but does hold on to his life.
Does survive just barely. I mean, that Senna ult, TF ult, Impact doing a good job to survive. He was actually being very restrained. We saw in that previous trade where you're talking about that short trade where he backstabbed, he avoided the hookshot, but he doesn't actually taunt in because he's giving respect to the fact that an enemy jungler could be there or the TF roam could come. And as soon as he taunts in, even once, immediately he's TF ulted on, he's Senna ulted, he is able to flash out of that Senna ult. I do think that Johnson waited too long on that, because if Johnson actually used that while the Camille ult was still up, I think Impact probably dies on that play. So mistake from Johnson on that bot side, not quick enough on the ultimate, and I think as a result, Impact does survive, but still the pressure continuing towards him.
Yeah, almost TP's back up for both top laners, but no flash now for Impact. Jose Diodo level 7 with the Sork shoes and a buff there. Going to start off the Rift Herald instead, as Svenskeren did actually get the first dragon of this game while the top lane play was happening, so that Ocean Drake over to EG via Cloud1 up next, as they can look to collect that in 4 minutes if they like. But again, with all this topside control, with Licorice feeling confident in his 1v1, with Palafox now starting to push the waves out a little bit more aggressively, is going to come up and help Jose Diodo. That's going to be a very early herald there for Fly. And at this point, can't imagine they're not dropping at top, as Svenskeren actually going to start things off. Through the rocks he goes. There's the Shen coming back down. Jose Diodo going to have to flash. Oh, great taunt for Impact as he rides in with the Stand United. And now Palafox going to have to flash up with a Hecarim. Ulti is going to make sure this one goes over to Jizuke, as Svenskeren will finish off the kill.
Great counterpunch there from EG. They're late to the scene to stop the Rift Herald, but Svenskeren knows he can just scrap. He has the Shen in a position where Stand United can come through. Jizuke was on the roam, so yes, FlyQuest do grab that Rift Herald, but they lose 2 kills, they lose the flash, and now Impact can trade aggressively here with the double buffs. You see that parry timed well to actually immune that true damage Q coming through from Licorice. And this puts, again, EG into a very nice spot. You're always going to prefer to take those kills. Licorice really taking a pounding here. He's got to be careful as the wave is pushing away and his jungler is on the bot side. So if Impact gets wind of this, Licorice could be in trouble.
Yeah, Diamond, though, going to come back down to the bottom side of the map as definitely an Ignar come back in the 2v2. It's been pretty quiet, actually, between these ADs. All the action's really been on top side. Jose Diodo down here in the bottom, though, as Diamond is looking to threaten. But Rel going to prance over the wall and be okay as Diamond clears out that pink ward. Certainly be fun to watch these ADs as the game goes on later. Kai'Sa very explosive in the mid to late game. Senna very powerful from long range in the same situations. So both can certainly contribute a lot as this game goes on, but it has really been all about top lane, which I don't think is exclusive to this particular matchup of FlyQuest, I think Licorice has just been on carries and kind of been the plan A in a lot of ways for FlyQuest with Jose Diodo behind him as the rest of the bottom side kind of make sure that Parent can get ahead and stay ahead in the FlyQuest games as Jizuke is diving in, gets the chain, but Diamond is here to answer, so is Igna, so everyone's going to walk away slowly.
Mm-hmm. And I agree. I mean, I think it makes sense for FlyQuest to be looking for that sort of game plan because of how good of a player Licorice is, right? But Licorice now forced back to base. You can see CS advantages are pretty big now in top and mid for EG. They have the winning lanes, not a big surprise. And even as all this gets pushed toward Deathly, you expect him to be maybe slightly ahead on the farm. So EG doing well with that. Jose Diodo is up here on that top side, but Impact has the slow push towards himself, so he's actually just going to base, and he can TP back towards top lane if he wants. Plus Svenskeren is here, so they know that it's now going to be a 2v2, and there's no eyes on Svenskeren. This could go bad for FlyQuest.
Yeah, no jungle has been revealed just yet. Jose Diodo now going to see what's up, and there's TF coming in. Ultimatum is issued. Send an ulti up there as well, this time right on time for Johnson as Licorice is able to take down Sven. Now Impact locked in the rest in front of 3 champions, but no one can really go as Jizuke is roaming up alongside Ignar at the bottom of the river. Palafox ready with the gold card to fend off the LeBlanc, and FlyQuest are going to walk away with their 1 kill.
Nicely done by them. I honestly am surprised that they're able to pull that off, because I assumed that since EG was going for this play, I thought it meant Jizuke had eyes, but Licorice is going to die.
Base check, hook shot. Jizuke no flash, does have Ignite coming back off cooldown, but needs his ulti, which he doesn't have for a while. So Jizuke going to dive in, gets the Ignite, gets the auto, and that's enough. Jizuke finds the kill.
No getting out of there. So nice kill on the back end. Licorice does have TP, but would be risky to TP back immediately knowing that LeBlanc is there. So what I thought was going to happen and why I thought that play was going to go EG's way was I assumed when EG is going for that play, when they're opting into it, that Jizuke must have been on top of Palafox, that he must have been there to actually prevent the ultimate coming through. Now they're going to look for a play onto him, which Stand United.
Ooh, good stop blood, but now Jose Diodo going to have to do a bit more work, so Palafox probably not long for this world. Diamond's here, but there's the taunt from Impact. Very nice as Jizuke finds the kill. Now Rel joining the party as the TP is in for Licorice. Jizuke low, but not dead just yet. That's the Mimic. Want to kill the other one here as Licorice is going to dive in, looks for the W extension, but can't get it. Great seismic shove though through the rocks as Licorice is able to take down Impact. Roof Tower dies in and amongst the chaos in mid lane, and it's starting to become a brawl. FlyQuest going to pick up one.
Very scrappy game here. Nice ultimate coming through by Ignar to actually pull Licorice out of his hook shot, but Impact was able to be taken down regardless, and now Licorice can go up towards that top side, picked up a kill. FlyQuest have priority around that dragon and will grab their first dragon of the game. So FlyQuest winning out in that mid lane fight just barely, putting themselves into a pretty good position, and it is a lot of proactivity around the map. You know, both teams kind of want to play towards top side. FlyQuest because they want to attack it. EG more because they want to unlock the Shen, because if the Shen is in a pushing position, it's much easier for them to look for these Stand Uniteds, to look for plays around the map, and that's really what they're trying to get done with him.
Well, Johnson's going to go ahead and do a bit of jungling there with Jose Diodo, collecting the souls. Always nice as Senna, even though Johnson is farming this game. Has the Kraken Slayer actually finished already. Wants to obviously maximize soul collection, so kind of a nice stylistic fit actually with Jose Diodo playing so many carries. Johnson can just kind of scoop in as the utility marksman and clean up souls as Jose continues to farm up, which is kind of a cute little thing. Svenskeren though wrapping around in the top side of the map as taunt does land already. Licorice went back in, and that could be his undoing. Jose Diodo does have the ultimate at the ready, and Licorice I think knows what's up. There's Svenskeren. And now going to move in. Good ultimatum actually to dodge the incoming E damage. Now Svenskeren trapped in the cage, but there's the ulti out. Flash for Licorice is there as Ignar's here as well. Jose Diodo, see you later, is definitely on the killer instinct, finds the kill.
Yeah, Palafox did have his ultimate because he's down in that bot lane. EG can actually look for that play, so aggressive move from them, rotating everyone up. Really nicely done. Here is that previous play. Jizuke pairing up with Impact here, lands the chains. Was a well-timed stopwatch from Palafox, and then because Palafox had the spellbook cleanse, Impact holds that taunt for a very long time, then forcing out that cleanse when it's already too late. Now track this ultimate here from Ignar. As Licorice goes off the wall, he actually pulls him out of it, it looked like, with the magnetism from that ultimate, snapping him out to try to protect Jizuke. Unfortunately for them, Licorice was able to get on top of Impact and take him down regardless.
Yeah, at some point, every target's a good target for Camille. You know, once your Q does enough damage. So was able to get that kill as that trade happened in mid, but Jizuke on top of the charts right now as far as gold goes. 6k the first to that breakpoint, and definitely not far behind him either. So the EG carry is looking good as he move into this mid game, almost 16 minutes through a Drake apiece. And perhaps another Rift Herald as Jose Diodo's going to get more done out of this one than the last one that we just saw die in mid, actually.
So something we haven't really had a chance to talk about actually is the build here from Senna. This is something that's becoming pretty common around the world and in solo queue. It's actually a Kraken Slayer plus Rageblade build. And it does have very nice synergy with the Rageblade because the bonus crit you're getting from collecting the souls goes into the on-hit damage on the Rageblade, plus the Kraken Slayer is giving you additional attack speed for every legendary item you complete on top of that. And Senna actually becomes a pretty high DPS marksman. This is more of that pure marksman damage style than it is the traditional kind of supportive style where you're more poking and prodding or just doing short little attacks for high amounts of burst with the pure lethality. So it is a different look, and I think it makes sense when there's multiple frontliners here to be actually wailing away on, when you can look to actually hit the Shen, hit the Rel, even the Hecarim, and just be trying to answer them. They're going to need some amount of consistent damage to be able to deal with that. So this is a build adaptation that I think is pretty nice, and we'll have to see how he does with it.
All right, well, trade starting here. EG are going to get the first tower here as Jizuke guides the wave into the bottom outer tower, but Fly are trying to trade for Mig, which is a good trade, even though they have to commit this second Herald that they did get to get it. Breaking open the map is very important, so they will make sure to do that. Definitely they're going to finish off the Herald, collect a bit of extra gold as a result, as the rest of FlyQuest are moving towards that top side of the map. And Licorice still there as well, has finished his mythic item, Divine Sunder, and now done. Going to be up against Sunfire Aegis there for impact. Someone does need to stop Jizuke. Looks like it's going to be Power Fox's job, but Svenskeren is here.
Yeah, exactly. So they're happy to actually look for this play, and that is why Diamond is based and roaming over here. I don't think the EG is actually going to look for the play unless someone face checks them at this point, because there's been too many people missing off the map for too long. And FlyQuest should have a really good idea of what's going on, because they actually saw that ward get dropped. Diamond can move forward and clear that out. But all of EG, besides Impact, now kind of cheating down towards that bottom side, looking to see if they can set up a play. You can see when they're considering this play, Impact is actually backing off away from Licorice to be in position to where he could look for a Stand United.
Diamond also playing with fire in his own red side jungle, but despite having both Hecarim and Rel right near him, does not get initiated on. Power Fox really can't stand here in this bottom half of the map, so FlyQuest just going to go to overload the top half, it looks like. But Impact's pretty sturdy. Maybe going to die here in this dive as Fly look to set this up. Not yet, though. Jose Diodo instead takes the enemy Krugs.
I don't think they can actually go for that dive. As long as Impact is aware of it, and he should be able to chill under the turret. You just have to sit back, allow that parry zone to do its work. At worst, you need to flash the seismic shove, but if that doesn't land, there's no way that an out-of-mana Camille should have enough damage to actually finish you off through parry zone. So Impact in a comfortable spot, and as a result, spotting that jungler up on the top side, it means an easy dragon down here on the bottom side for EG. The Mountain Dragon actually really nice for them. The bonus resistances are going to be working very well for both the Shen and the Rel, as well as, some odd little bits of resistances added to the other players. So pretty nice position, I think, already for EG, and they're going to be looking to work towards, I think, that Mountain Soul this game.
Just have so much control of this bottom half of the map. Here's Svenskeren just straight stealing the red buff. Going to get it as well. Does smite it away. Could find initiation. He does get W there, but Ignar's diving in with the Shen. Ignar going straight into the back lines. It can't quite find it. Diamond is the only one really in the fray, and he does ult out of there as he looks to turn the fight. Power Fox will escape, but he is forced to flash. As Licorice is coming down here, there's the ulti out of Svenskeren, this time going back in, but he's just taking a little bit too much damage. Good send ulti there to protect him as he does go down. Johnson barely going to live through that fight, but Jizuke is going to find the kill, of course, as Impact is low but not dead just yet. Jizuke, though, not going to be so lucky as Jose Diodo is able to finish that off, and there's a great stump for Licorice. Will take down Impact, and EG have just been absolutely counter-punched into the dirt as FlyQuest will take the team fight win.
What a team fight there from FlyQuest. It looked like it would be a great turn from EG, having gotten the flash off both Johnson and Palafox in the initial skirmish, but it looked like Diamond really shut down the turn here, and we're going to have to watch this one more time because I believe he actually interrupted the Shen taunt. That was the initial skirmish that they did go for. They forced out those flashes, they taunt back. It looks like, okay, everything is dissipating. But then as Johnson and Palafox are stepping forward, they know there are no flashes available, so in they go. And now watch Diamond here. Did he actually headbutt this? Yes, he did. He actually knocked Impact out of his taunt, preventing the kill onto Johnson and saving Jose Diodo from actually getting taunted up as well. That fight could have looked so different if a multi-man taunt lands there from Impact onto the carries. They're not getting that damage out. That could have allowed the Kaisa to actually move in and clean up that fight. And that is the type of game-changing play that you are looking for from your Alistar.
Great awareness by Licorice as well, waiting for Impact to go over the wall before following. Did have to burn his flash to guarantee the stun after hookshot, but might as well use the summoner just to make sure Impact doesn't get away. So a team fight win there for FlyQuest. They'll go just barely up in gold, although not really, given the state of this game. Tower's still staying even as well as Licorice is trying to work on things in this bottom half. 1v1. But not the way you think. It's kind of Licorice versus the tower, and Impact's going to try and protect his structure. A little too much damage there on the Camille right now.
This duo. That's often your duo when you're a tank, playing top lane, the tower. You want to stay with your duo, because past a certain point, you don't get to have a lot of fun. But Impact's still going to be fine in the 1v1, honestly. He has the Bramble Vest, so really you can scrap. Both with that Sunfire plus the Bramble, it's difficult for Licorice to have enough sustain to actually, just take you down straight up. But you can start to look to whittle away at him because you are going towards the Ravenous Hydra, so you take a short trade as Licorice into the Shen, then you heal up off the minions. You don't actually heal up by hitting into that Bramble Vest, so it does become more and more in the favor of the Camille, and as those cooldowns for the Camille get shorter and shorter, you're not going to have your parry zone for all of those empowered Qs, and the true damage coming through really can be devastating.
Alphog's going to have to clear the wave here because he's getting dove. Doesn't know it, I think now does. He's just going to walk away. That will give Jizuke the tower. So EG going to go up 2-1 in structures and retake the gold lead as Palafox does pop the ulti. Diamond on the assault. Palafox already with the gold card does wrap around, but Igna perhaps not the target they were after, so FlyQuest will just regroup in mid lane. Do still have the advantage of having their mid lane tower up, and Johnson is continuing to collect souls and has finished up his Rage Blade, so it does feel like we're just kind of waiting between spawns here as a minute 10 up until that next Mountain Drake. Also, Impact eventually is going to lose this tower as his duo lane is starting to crumble, but not yet at least, doing a good job of protecting his structure still.
Yep, and he actually upgraded the full Thornmail, so not something that you see that often, but it is going to give the benefit of the extra powerful Grievous Wounds, the 60% as opposed to the 30 on just the Bramble Vest, so that is pretty nice, especially with Licorice itemizing towards more healing there. There's also obviously the healing that you can cut, coming through from Johnson and whatnot. But it doesn't seem like the absolute best game for it, because to be honest, there's not that many auto attackers. It's magic damage in mid lane, it's magic damage in jungle. Yes, Senna may be hitting you, but Senna's not really building towards lifesteal, and the Rage Blade actually takes away the lifesteal from your passive because all the crit is then converted to on-hit damage. So I'm a little bit surprised that he built that. I actually tend to think if you want to build for the 1v1, it's actually better if you're just trying to hold at your tower to go for a Warmogs, because then if you do take these bad trades, you just step forward, you absorb the damage while you clear out the minion wave so you don't give Camille access, and then you stand into your tower and you Warmogs back to full, and you just do that over and over and over, and it makes it really tough for split pushers to actually ever threaten your towers.
All right, well, that dragon is up, so EG looking for Soul Point here. Svenskeren and Impact are going to team up for that one, and looks like it will be no contest. Jose Diodo checking the Baron just in case there was anything happening there. Licorice might find out what's going on. He is going to ward the back and see it. Over the wall he goes. He wants to try and take the Drake. He's going to look for the kill instead as Jose Diodo rides in. See you later, Svenskeren.
They're going to be able to get that kill, and now it's on to Baron, right? They can actually look to threaten this. Senna isn't a traditional marksman that can take down that Baron really fast normally, but with this Kraken Slayer Rageblade build, you have significant threat onto it, and with no smite over on the side of EG, they're going to have to see what they can prevent. Not sure if FlyQuest will fully commit to this as they're actually sending Licorice down to the bot side, so at the very least, they will get some vision, but it does just look like it's the pick for the Dragon, which goes heavily in the favor of EG, and now Diamond probably just
going to use his ult, but not his flash. He's just going to hold on to it there, because I think he knew what we all did, that he's dead, is definitely going to get the kill. Licorice, so now turning on that 1v1, teleport coming in. Licorice's earlier control ward bearing dividends as Palafox can't make it over the wall, but Licorice doesn't need him. Impact just getting shredded by these Camille Qs. That taunt is good. Is it enough to keep Licorice alive? It is! Sorry, Impact is able to get that kill as now Palafox will answer, but I don't think you want to fight this Shen. There's the gold card. What a taunt from Impact! Such good timing as he is low, but he's not out as finally Palafox is able to pick him off, but Impact did so much work there.
Oh, nicely done by Impact, able to actually win that 1v1. Almost takes down Palafox, who was out of mana. The grass proc just barely did not keep him alive. That was really, really big for EG. Being able to get multiple kills across the map. They take out Diamond on that top side. They get the Dragon, so they're now at Soul Point. Additional resistances being added in here for EG is going to make them so difficult to actually take down with this composition that FlyQuest have. And if Mountain Soul ever comes through, it's going to be really, really difficult to kill off this front line.
I mean, maybe even some of the carries you're trying to dive on, right? Going to live a little bit of extra time, plenty of peel there.
Absolutely.
With the Shen and the Rel. FlyQuest just starting to struggle here, despite the goal being pretty close. Like, we're less than 2,000 between the two teams. At one point, EG were up about 2,500, if I recall correctly, but it's been pretty close as FlyQuest have battled back, but they need a bit more space. Palafox is going to try and get just that by taking out the top outer tower, so that will indeed even up the structures. Definitely don't want to be anywhere near Impact. He's awfully spooky, so Palafox is going to walk away, which I think is very respectful from the top lane.
And Impact is actually going to go towards the Warmox. He's going to be going for that as his third item. So didn't go at second when I was kind of thinking he may, but is going to be grabbing it next, it looks like. And being able to apply the Grievous Wounds on your taunt with the Thornmail is obviously pretty nice. You get the 60% anytime you do immobilize someone, which is quite powerful, as it is kind of that on-demand hit there, as we see FlyQuest looking for an engage on Definitely.
Ooh, definitely the target. What a dive there. FlyQuest finally find the pick as Jose Diodo finds the shutdown. Just riding on in, as Definitely can't really do anything. Jizuke now going to have to get out of there as Jose Diodo was burst down, but not dead just yet as FlyQuest can walk to Baron.
Yeah, definitely very far up mid lane. I don't think he has any QSS. He's obviously not playing with Cleanse, so despite the fact that Stand United came through, Ignar wasn't there to peel, and they just don't have enough to keep him safe. And now that is the most powerful piece, really, of EG's team fighting is down, and they've got to try to prevent this Baron.
Yeah, Jizuke trying to poke here. I think FlyQuest looking to turn, but are going to have to bait EG in a little bit more. Still, turnaround is a possibility here as EG are going to close the trap.
EG just want them off it, and then they want to disengage.
Licorice, oh, finds Jizuke. Good pick there, but the backside is Ignar running in with a Magnet Storm. Jizuke low, but not dead just yet as Palafox and Licorice also have no health left. Impact's going to kill Licorice once again as Johnson's popping off with his Kraken Slayer, but it's not enough to get another kill. So instead, just a Baron attempt and a 1-for-1 trade in the end.
I cannot believe that Jizuke lived. Such a quick taunt coming through from Impact to protect his mid laner, who's then able to flash out with almost no health remaining there. EG stave off what was a very dangerous play. FlyQuest, that's really the first time they've had something going for them in the last couple minutes, getting that pick mid, threatening the Baron, because now with EG actually stopping that push, it is 40 seconds away from that potential Mountain Soul, and there's not going to be flashes on anyone except Jose Diodo over on that side, which I think is more of a concern than missing those summoners for EG, who can play it more defensively and honestly have easier backline access with the LeBlanc and the Hecarim.
All right, well, certainly going to be a fight brewing in under 20 seconds as EG regrouped, almost ready with all their ultis. Impact and Ignar still waiting for their cooldowns, but not too far away. 3 items also done for both ADs. Oh, Licorice just picked off there by Impact and Jizuke. Nowhere to go over the wall. He will indeed be as good knock up there for Diamond. They found the counter engage and definitely is just going to die, but Impact actually maybe going to save one as Svenskeren dives back in with the onslaught of shadows. Palafox will fall. Johnson also is going to meet the same fate as Impact is just killing everyone. And EG, they find the fight they need. Licorice does TP back in. They are going to get the speed train, but they got to get out of here. A 3v4 is not what they want, but they also can't give away the Mountain Soul.
Impact has flash. He could look for a taunt flash here onto Jose Diodo. If he could catch him and eliminate that smite, it pretty much guarantees that they have the fight here. He is looking.
Ignar's got ulti as well. Licorice now going to be cordoned off. Diamond trying to find it, but Jizuke fakes him out. Diamond now on the front side is going to go down. That's another kill now to Evil Genius. This is Jose Diodo is just going to be picked off here by Svenskeren. Talia running low on mana as the shield pops up for Sven, and Licorice is still fighting 2 people, I think. No, never mind. Zero as Impact kills him once again, and EG are going to claim the Mountain Soul.
That is huge for EG. It should be the last piece of the puzzle for them to get a win in this game. EG really team fighting well, despite the fact that Definitely got caught again here. it was kind of counter engages on both sides. We saw that EG initially was looking for the pick on Licorice. He gets out and the engage comes through. The Stand United buying enough time though, Deathly's ultimate as well. That was critical because it allowed Impact to come through and join that fight right off the bat. If he died a split second earlier, Impact would be running through the jungle here instead of having already taken down Johnson. So those split seconds mattering so much. Then EG looking here to chase, to try to track down Licorice, and Impact is able to kind of just section him off, as we saw on the other side, Diamond getting caught and pushed out of the fight. There's just not a lot that FlyQuest really can do here. If you can't get some sort of a miracle kill onto Jizuke or get a seismic shove combo onto Senscarin to burst him down, there's no way that they were ever really going to win in this 3v4.
And man, Impact is just doing everything in this game, it feels like. As I say that, we come out of the replay and Spenskaren off the back of an Impact taunt's going to kill Palafox. FlyQuest back in a 4v5 with the Baron up and Mountain Soul against him. This is awfully tough.
It is, and now Deathly even has the QSS, so he has the answer to that gold card, that point and click stun that FlyQuest have been using to pick him off multiple times. They are on the Baron here, 3-man play, Jizuke and Ignar on the flanks here to potentially catch anyone who does go too far forward. And Jizuke looking for that poke. Yeah,
Ignar already going in. Jizuke again just going to run interference. Baron already dead. Ignar might sacrifice himself, but never mind. Impact again to save the day over the top. As a massive amount of burst from Jizuke picks off too quickly. As EG, they'll take the Baron, they'll take the kills. In fact, Spenskaren even going to chase down Licorice here as well. It's been 3 dead already on the fly side, and Licorice's Camille looking like it might pick up its first loss as Jizuke grabs a delayed triple kill off the back of that Baron.
Jizuke just exploded those guys. Johnson and Jose Dioto both absolutely evaporated. Neither able to actually use the flash. The heal didn't come through. He finds the angle there. The late game LeBlanc has the death cap complete, has 10 stacks on that Dark Seal, and he is ready to go in these fights. EG may have just dealt the death blow here with all those kills, with the Soul, with the Baron. They are nigh on unassailable for FlyQuest at this point, and Jizuke is looking for more.
Yeah, they're going to break 2 inhibs here at least. FlyQuest going to regroup and try and fend them off. Middle inhib is going to live for a little while longer, but the Baron up cannons almost get the job done. One more shot. Oh, Jizuke blows up Jose Dioto. I literally blinked and I missed it, but the root does follow through. They need to try and kill this LeBlanc. Johnson flashing in. He will grab the shotgun. That's 1k extra to the center as he goes over the wall with the blast plant. FlyQuest still fighting as the ulti out of Palafox trying to find the angle, but Ignar's going to dive back in. Pops in the magnets. There's the Spenskaren ulti over the top of the rail. And now Diamond trapped in the ultimatum kind of alongside Licorice as he's just going to fall to the rest of EG, but still the damage is there. The Kraken Slayer is trying here for the center as Licorice dives back in. Johnson needs to live. He's still alive for now, but no, he gets deleted. Picked up there by Impact is now definitely going to dive in onto Palafox, and I think that's going to be it. Palafox, the only remaining survivor, and will live to tell the tale of how they lost their Nexus to Evil Geniuses, who are going to pick up a win after a loss yesterday. A back-and-forth affair, but Impact and Jizuke showing up as the Evil Genius Soul Laners, and the rest of the squad will take the Nexus.
What a game from Impact, honestly. Carrying through the early game. This guy was a monster. And Jizuke coming online in these last couple fights. That kill on Jose Dioto in the base, that's some LeBlanc highlight reel stuff. Distorting back defensively. Looks like he's fully just running away from the play at that point. Everyone on FlyQuest is feeling pretty comfortable, even looking for the chase, and then as Jose Dioto steps forward to actually give chase, too close to that distortion, he just snaps back, knowing that he doesn't even need the full combo, he doesn't even need the extra distortion, and just insta-kills Jose Dioto after already doing it to him in that previous fight. That is the kind of game that you are looking for from Jizuke when you sign this guy. He has those pop-off moments that really are incredible to watch, and so exciting to see EG being able to have a monster performance from their solo laners there.
Yeah, and cool to see the kind of the players interacting at the end of the game, but I think Jizuke went straight to top side. I was like, hey, Impact, thanks, man. Just pats him on the back, because for how much Jizuke did in the latter half of that fight, it just felt like Impact was set up the whole game, and Jizuke was like, oh, this is the easiest LeBlanc game I've ever played, because I have all this farm, my top lane is setting me up for kills, and I just click Distortion, then click R on them, and everyone explodes.
if I know anything about pro players, what they're doing is they're going over like, do you see the damage meters? You see how much damage I did?
Yeah.
You suck. I did way more.
I mean, you know what? Stuff is the tank player sometimes. Impact will take the win in his stride, even though Jizuke, I'm sure, did the most damage in that game. It's time for us to step away, but when we return, we'll have Tigers and Sven Skaren up in the Verizon post-game interview.
Your Honda MVP.
Dreams aren't achieved overnight. They take passion,
It's Mr. World 3.
dedication. And even then, there are no guarantees. But for the LCS, that's the power of dreams.
Too bad.
It means you never give up. It means you always play again. Honda, proud automotive partner of the LCS.
Welcome back to the LCS, everyone, for a Verizon post-game interview alongside EG's very own Sven Skaren. You came through with a W today against FlyQuest. Now, going into this matchup, I'm curious on to your thoughts, not just against FlyQuest in general after their victory yesterday, but specifically the jungle matchup here with Jose Deodo.
Yeah, I think the game was pretty fun. It was pretty even until we got the Baron, I would say, and we just ended the game. But I mean, overall, the game was pretty even. I think the Impact and Shen kind of 1v9, so made the game a bit easy. But other than that, it was pretty fun.
Both of the solo laners on EG's side on very comfortable picks for themselves in this matchup. You mentioned Impact, and he's honestly been one of the largest talks of the town when it comes to the top lane, especially going back to that aggressive style he had pre-TL times. What has it been like kind of working towards making that top side as strong as it is, especially when you can get support from the rest of your teammates?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy playing with Impact because he usually always wins lane and he's really good at shot calling. So it just makes the game pretty fluent. If he's ahead, he knows how to really shot call. And I mean, obviously we try to give resources to somebody that's playing really well. So yeah, I think that's kind of it.
And with that shot calling, I'm sure that contributes somewhat to the fact that all of you are remarking about how much synergy was already there when this team came together, despite never being together as a unit before. Are there any specific characteristics of that you can dive into a bit? Is it the comms when you're in the actual games? Is it the team fights? What makes you feel like this is such a good collective?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we still have a lot to work on because our games are not that clean, but I mean, I think everyone likes playing with each other in this team, and that's just a big bonus if everyone is having fun together and playing. So we can learn and talk to each other. Like, constructive criticism is really important, and I think that we have a good team that can take criticism well and give criticism to like my teammates pretty well. They take it pretty well, so that's just something we can do to improve. And I mean, our synergies is fine, I guess. I think we still need to work on our mid-game macro, but yeah, that'll come.
That's what the early season is here for, right? For us to get to see you all grow. And Svenskeren, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
With that, that was just game one that we have going on today. So to break it down, let's send things over to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, the Tigress. Evil will prevail today over good in the first meeting between FlyQuest and Evil Geniuses. And you heard it there from the interview, and the man himself, Svenskeren, citing Impact in the 1v9 performance. That's where I want to start, Emily, because it was our featured matchup, Licorice Impact, and we had some curiosities about what kind of a style and champion pick you'd come out with. Well, if you can win the lane and play Shen at the same time, I'd say that's a pretty good way to start.
Yeah, so much of this matchup really relied on Impact hitting too, and then also the Shen W is just so important in this Shen Camille matchup. I know as he locked in the Shen, which is like such a staple of Impacts, right? I heard a groan from Hai in the chat who was hoping for something else, but I mean, I think his build was really good. I think he performed really well. We saw both junglers go top. I actually think this gank in response to Svenskeren being up top was actually also really good from Jose Teodo. It was a good response. And yeah, everything was in the top lane. And, you know, I heard from our stats team that Impact did a significant amount of damage. So maybe top is going to go shooting back up the charts now.
Some of those soon, but Hai, I do want to get your opinion because you had some some thoughts on Impact specifically and wanting to see perhaps some more carry oriented champions out of him.
Right. So when he did lock in Shen, I did say he would win lane. Shen wins lane that's into Camille. However, I don't really think Shen generally solo kills Camille at level 2. I don't believe he'll be able to consistently do that against world-class top laners. So when the enemy team is like second picking Camille, generally you want to have something that like can punish that, right? Shen wins lane, but is it enough to like really punish the Camille? Some might say yes, some might say no. I'm not entirely sure. You win lane, but marginally, usually not that hard. Obviously, he proved it wrong this game where he's 1v2ing Camille and TF. I don't think that normally happens, though. But like I said, you know, he is an amazing top laning player that plays a lot of tanks really well. I just love to see him expand that repertoire to harder carry champions when the time arises and if there's an opportunity for it. But he definitely showed his worth in this game, basically 1v9ing them, right? So
yeah, I also think he did a couple smart things, like the fact that he was able to pick up double buffs on a kind of botch Rift Herald play for FlyQuest meant that he was able to grow like a 40 CS lead on his own, and we already saw some of the kills. So he turned that into all armor items. Even though there's a magic damage jungler and a magic damage mid laner who's going to be coming top all the time with TF, he still said, no, I'm going all physical for this 1v1. Really committed into that and just relied on health pool like a Warmogs that he picked up eventually to deal with the magic damage that was coming through, which also made him very effective against Johnson. I thought overall he showed really smart in-game adaptations to what was going on, not just playing the actual pick well mechanically.
Yeah, and I'll re-hit that point that Emily had brought up about the damage percentage, particularly because we were talking about top laners putting out big damage numbers throughout the lock-in tournament. Impact was the highest damage per minute on his team, but we'll roll forward to about 29 minutes here because it was a close game up until this point.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, Impact just jumps on Johnson immediately. I actually think, I describe Senna as kind of a ticking time bomb. I do think she is strong, despite, I believe, her not having the greatest win rate or as much priority as maybe I would have liked, because I do think she's really strong. But here you see that Impact just jumps on the Senna immediately. As soon as Johnson's out of the fight, they really can't do much after this.
For people thinking, how did EG win this fight when the AD carry instantly died? Well, you see, the carry isn't Kaisa this game. The carry is Shen. So when you kill the wrong carry, you might lose that team fight after. He ultis in, gets a 2-man taunt onto Twisted Fate and Senna, and he's the actual carry. So, of course, he's going to win that fight. He gets the taunt on the 2 damage dealers on FlyQuest's side, and he's full HP. He's going to crush the team fight there.
Yeah, and I do want to give a quick head tap as well to FlyQuest for coming back into this game. You know, they had a bit of a rough go at the top side of the map at the beginning of the game. It was about a 3K gold lead about at 20 minutes. And then they were able to win a fight in their own side of the red side jungle. And, you know, Johnson was kiting out team fights relatively well until that one that we saw there. And that was kind of why it was the backbreaker, because it was the first time that they managed to really get on Johnson and destroy him right at the beginning of team fight. So overall, I think there was a lot of stuff for FlyQuest to still be positive about in their team fighting and some of their early game decision making. I just think, you know, they fell behind, and then the stacking Mountain Drake as well being perfect for Impact Shen to keep taking over the game.
And I want to say one thing to everyone that's playing Twisted Fate out there, people in LCS, people in solo queue, you do not have to build rapid fire cannon every single game. In fact, you might want to try to build damage sometimes when your team doesn't have very much damage, and if you're versus a Shen. I understand that it provides players another way to engage on Twisted Fate, but you can play around that. Maybe try doing damage sometimes, like maybe a death cap, you know? Wild idea, but you don't always have to go rapid fire cannon.
There you go. I was going to ask you, what would you throw in place of it? Death cap, build that damage. One other very important piece of business that I feel like we have to take care of. We've got Rel, we've got Hecarim in the game, 2 horses, both on the same comp, and Primal pointed this out on Twitter. We need a name for these 2 horse Hecarim and Rel comps, equestrian comps we're seeing ASAP. Mark, I know you already had a suggestion that you threw out on Twitter. What was it?
My submission was the cavalry comps, but
That's a pretty good one.
That feels like the safe choice. I bet there's a better one out there.
Well, so then we'll put it to you, the fans and the viewers at home. Check out on Twitter. I believe this will. You can either go straight to Primal's Twitter there. Hopefully LCS will also retweet it. But give us your thoughts on what these equestrian comps might be called. We're going to step away. When we return, we got Dignitas taking on Team Liquid. We'll see you here.